Do you want a simple, no scrap card idea perfect for Father's Day and beyond? Hi, I'm Jess from jesscrafts.com, and I'm going to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today I have a one sheet wonder or paper busting no scrap template, and that basically means that I'm going to take one piece of 6x6 paper and make a number of A2 size cards without making any scraps. I do this with 6x6 paper, 6x8, 12x12, a variety of sizes and a variety of kinds of cards. So today I'm making A2 size cards, but sometimes I'll make slimline or mini slimline or various 5x7 other sizes. I'm going to take my 6x6 piece of paper, and this is template number 38. There will be a link in the video description so that you can download this template. It's off to the side there on the left of my screen. I cut the paper to 2 inches by 6 inches, and then it becomes a 2 by 4 inch rectangle and then a 2 by 2 inch square. Out of the 2 by 2 inch square, I'm going to cut a circle. This is going to add some interest without making any scraps because I will cut the circle out of the center, then I will mat the circle and attach it back so that it gives this when you're doing no scrap template, often it's a lot of squares, rectangles, occasionally maybe you'll see like a triangle, but I've tried to occasionally incorporate some other shapes, and so I'm die cutting this circle. You could do other die cuts, but I highly recommend layering die cuts. So I recommend a 1 1/4 inch circle, and then with my layering die cut set, which is the MFT stitch circles, I'm going to get the next circle bigger, and that's going to be my mat size. I'm going to cut my circle mat out of my square mat. So I cut a craft cardstock square mat that's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then I also cut a rectangle mat for the 2 by 4 piece that is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. Do not worry about these measurements. Like I said, there's a template. So you see that colorful PDF, or well, I guess it just looks like a printout there, but you see that colorful template up there in the corner that has a card sketch on it. That is a printable PDF that you can get at jesscrafts.com, so you can print it out and have it on your workspace as well. And that's why I say don't worry about those measurements. But by covering that circle with the circle I cut out with the mat, it also is a little bit forgiving. I am going to stamp some critters from the Lawn Fawn Dad and Me stamp set. Today's card is going to be a Father's Day card because Father's Day in the US is coming up. However, you could use this template for anything you like. And it does create 3 cards. So it might be one of those things where maybe you don't have 3 people you need to give a Father's Day card to, but you could, of course, use the other cuts that you make for other themed cards because this isn't a specifically Father's Day card. I like to stamp a whole bunch at one time when I stamp my critters, so I'm showing you how I do that with my MISTI. You can use a pressing tool to help you get good impressions with your MISTI, or you can just use your sleeve and wipe that across the MISTI, or swipe that, I guess is maybe a better word. Swipe that across the MISTI, and that will give you some nice even pressure. But the tool is a little bit better if you have any wrist issues or with putting that pressure down. I'm going to do some very simple Copic coloring. I know that Copic coloring is not for everyone, but I do like to show how you can keep it simple and you don't have to go crazy, but you can get these really cute results. So I pick an area for the shadow. I don't think about light source because there is no light source on this card. I am not creating a scene. So in this instance, I decide all the shadows are on the back left side of the bear, and then I just blend it out to my lighter colors, and I just pick 3 browns that are near each other in their Copic colors, and I don't try to stress too much about it. I also picked a slightly darker brown to add to the detail on the bear's face and the moose's antlers, and I use the same colors for both because, again, I do some more elaborate scene coloring. You can check that out on Instagram, but I often will keep my Copic coloring very simple, and I will color a lot of images at one time. So I stamped a whole sheet of these, and I colored them all because then I have a bunch to use on future cards as well when I go back to this template. I'm ready to assemble my card. I'm going to use a little bit of cardstock scrap to help prop things up because this square is going to be half on the rectangle and half off. And so if I were to glue it directly down, then it would have a little bit of a bump in it, and I don't want that. So I have propped it up there. You can also use cardstock scraps to give a little bit of dimension, and I will use that later. I am using a little, I guess I think the word for it is like a jig, but like a template for my banner die cuts. I cut all my favorite banner die cuts out of one sheet of thick cardstock. I then put my delicate frog tape behind it such that the sticky side is facing up, and that is holding down my banner sentiment, and I can use this over and over and over again and get perfect placement with my MISTI without having to worry about whether or not I could hold down that little banner with my magnets or tape or anything like that. So I highly recommend this if you like to stamp your sentiments on banner dies, like banner cutouts. It's an invaluable tool, and it is the supplies you need to make it are already in your craft room, so there's no reason not to. I'm going to prop up the Happy Father's Day as well, just to kind of try to even it out again, and then I will glue the larger bear directly on, so the daddy bear, and then the baby bear will go next to him, slightly overlapping, and I'm going to give the baby bear just one layer of cardstock scrap to give him just a bit of dimension, but you could of course put foam tape behind both or either of them. I do realize they are a little bit big for this tiny little circle here, but I do think that it still works. If you found this video inspiring, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.